Mesorah, authentic Yiddishkeit, comes about through the gedolei hador. When we lose a gedol hador, we lose a link in the chain of the mesorah.
יש לנו את הזכות שהמורה דעשרה של הקהילה פה, של KSY, זה גם המורה דעשרה אצלנו, של קהילת נצח ישראל, ואנחנו נשמע את דברי המורה דעשרה.
I will speak in English. Mechila me'arabanim, versus harabanim. We've all heard so much over the last week, over our whole lives, but over the last week we've heard so much. Sar HaTorah, Rav Chaim Kanievsky, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, so many stories, so many limudim, so many hanhagas. I don't really, as the Manal said, I don't really have a grasp on Rav Chaim Kanievsky, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, too big for me to grasp. But I just wanted to focus, Amish, for 3-4 minutes on one point. We lost the gedol hador. So what does this mean? Why is this important? So the Mishnah says, Mishnah everybody's familiar with, Moshe kibel Torah miSinai, Sarah leYeshua, Yeshua leZakenim v'chuli. Moshe received the Torah at Har Sinai and he gave it on from there. The key word in the Mishnah is mesorah, or masra, as we say. Masra, which means mesorah. And what the Mishnah is teaching more than anything else is that real Yiddishkeit, authentic Yiddishkeit, requires a mesorah. If there's a Yiddishkeit without a mesorah, the truth is, it's not Yiddishkeit at all. Torah, Yiddishkeit, it's like a chain that's 3,000 years long. It starts from Har Sinai, and it comes to us. And there's what's written in the Chumash, there's even what's written in the Mishnayos and in the Gemara, but there's the mesorah that went from dar ladar. How did this mesorah transmit? How did it transfer from one generation to another to make sure that we really have the mesorah? You see, many new ideas have come about over the generation. Many new thoughts, many new things. If it wasn't part of the mesorah, either it just came and it went, or worst case scenario, it broke off and became even a different religion. Mesorah, authentic Yiddishkeit, comes about through the gedolei hador. When we lose a gedol hador, we lose a link in the chain of the mesorah. And that's what's important for us, and that's what we all have to know. Yes, there's so many stories, there's so many svarim, there's so many things that we can relate to. It's difficult to relate to, but the mesorah is ours. Every dor has its balei mesorah, and this is very important. If you look at the Rambam, before he wrote the Yad HaChazaka, he wrote the Hakdama to the Yad HaChazaka. What is it? What's his introduction to Kol HaTorah Kula? Mesorah. Moshe kibel Torah miSinai. Takes it all the way to Ravina and Rav Ashi and even further. Now, the Rambam explains in the Hakdama, why do we sit all day trying to understand the machlokes between Rav and Shmuel? And the answer is, says the Rambam, because Rav, the great Rav, was a Talmud of Rabbi Yanai, and Rabbi Yanai was a Talmud of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, and Rabbi Yehuda Nasi from Hillel And there it went, all the way back to Har Sinai. The important thing about Rav and Shmuel was not that Rav was a genius or he knew everything, or that Shmuel was. The important thing was that they were the Balei Mesorah of our generation. Like the Rambam, almost all the Rishonim list the Balei HaMesorah. I want to share this with you. I remember when I was a yeshiva bacher, I'm talking now close to 50 years ago. And we went, a group of us, actually a number of times, we went to visit the Stipler Gaon. We went to buy his Sfarim, we went to get a bracha from him, whatever it was just really an excuse to be in the same room with the Stipler. The Stipler was the Gadol hador. I noticed, we went into the Stipler, which was an unforgettable experience, just to be in the presence of the Stipler. I remember there was a very chashuva looking person sitting on the side. Twice this happened. And he was sitting with the Gemara and he was learning. Presumably he learned with the Stipler when nobody was there. So I came out and I said, who's on the side? Do you remember this? Who's on the side? So they told me that's his son, Rav Chaim Kanievsky. What was I seeing? I was seeing the mesorah happening right in front of my eyes. I was seeing that Rav Chaim Kanievsky, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, learning with and from his father, the Stipler, who learned with the Chazon Ish, who learned with Rav Chaim Moiser, who learned in Volozhin, who had the Torah's Hagra, and Ad Har Sinai. That's what I was watching right there in the room. So when we talk about the loss of the Gadol Hador, we're talking about the fact that our mesorah has been taken away from us. You know, it's interesting, I counted, Rav Chaim Kanievsky wrote that I can count 26 Sfarim. Brought the list. I mean, on subjects and sugyas that most people in their life tell me the chachamim don't even learn. Most people don't even learn these sugyas, let alone be an expert at it and write a sefer on them. But what's important here, besides for these 26 Sfarim and the hundreds and hundreds of Sfarim that were written based on Rav Chaim Kanievsky, on his psukim, on things that he taught us, on things that he wrote. There were many instances of Ruach HaKodesh. We heard all kinds of stories of Ruach HaKodesh. We heard for years, Ruach HaKodesh, Mamash Yatzim B'Beis Midrashay. But if you watch carefully, and you listen to what people always report about their meetings and their visits with Rav Chaim Kanievsky Zatzal, what they always talk about is how he was makbid on the mesorah. A Jew looks a certain way. A Jew dresses a certain way. In his opinion, even a watch was a question on the mesorah. His Sfarim, they're all about, there's a common denominator here, a thread that goes through it. They're all about things like grasshoppers that we don't have a mesorah in. And he went to try to discover the mesorah. To him, the most important thing was the mesorah. This is how we have to know to raise our families. This is how we have to know to grow up. We have to always look at one thing. What is the mesorah from Har Sinai? What came from Moshe to Yeshua, all the way to our gedolei hador? Chazal promised us that this chain would never be broken. In every generation, in every door, Hashem will give us someone who is the Goin Hador. Just when you think there isn't anybody, somebody is there. The Goin Hador, somebody who is the Baal Mesorah, somebody who could teach us what to do. And we have to be mispalo, that we should have access. It should be revealed. Hashem should reveal to us the Gadol Hador, the mesorah, so that we can learn from that mesorah. We can always strive for the mesorah. We can learn a pshat in the Gemara according to the mesorah. That's what Rashi's telling us. That's what Tosfos is telling us. That's what the Rosh and the Rimagash are telling us. What is the mesorah of Klal Yisrael? That's what it's all about. And we should have this mesorah as a straight chain. Yirtz Hashem. Chain will go all the way to Eliyahu Navi, which is going to be Pashat certain in Yonim, and to Mashiach Tzidkenu B'Meher of Yamin.